Welcome, everybody. How are you doing? Feel free to say hello. We have Darla here today. We had Gemma. She literally just left and went upstairs to see what the commotion was. Let's see who is in the chat. Jackie, greetings. Good morning, Stacy. Good morning, Tam. Hi, Lori, Christine, and Anique. Good morning to another Lori. Tatiana, good morning, Jackie. Hello, Caroline, Andriana. Hi, Lisa, Debbie from Arizona. Hello, Sweat. If today's your first day with me, my name is... Oh, here's Gemma. She's very... Oh, and there she goes again. She doesn't like to be on camera, I guess. If this is your first time with me, my name is Jacqui Mancuso. I'm an astrologer from Northern Illinois, and today we're going to talk about... I titled this session Early March Astrology. We're going to talk a little bit about like the whole upcoming year. Today's a big talk, but we're going to talk about astrology, and then I'm going to pull some oracle cards to see how we can best utilize this energy. And sending a very happy birthday wish to Caroline. She says it's her birthday today. Hi, Sophia and Melinda. Hannah. Oh boy, it's all good. It was one of those things where I sat down to make my notes and then I just got like overly excited and I just kept writing and writing. So it's all good. Everything I always say is all good. Actually, I can let you guys know that. So I don't want to get too much into it. I talked about this a little bit, I think, on Friday. The whole Insight Timer versus Apple. What is digital content? What are the teachers actually responsible for? What's his name? Christopher Plowman, the Insight Timer CEO. He's been fighting tooth and nail for us Insight Timer teachers. And over the weekend, Insight Timer asked us teachers to record a testimonial regarding why we teach on Insight Timer, what is digital content, what success stories have you seen with your followers. So I put my submission in. I uploaded it to my TikTok yesterday. This morning I just threw it up on YouTube. So if you want to see, it's just a 90-second little clip. It's my opinions on what digital content is and what we do here on Insight Timer. So if you guys want to get involved in that, there it is. If you want to share it around, power in numbers, the bigger the message, the bigger the outreach, blah, 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 but no expectations at all. Amanda, hi from Maryland. Janelle and Michelle, happy morning. I don't know why I said happy morning. I saw happy birthday from Tatiana. Hello, Janice. We are also coming off of a weekend where Venus and Uranus squared each other in mutual reception, where they were in each other's sign of rulership. Good morning, Greg and Nicole. And I suggested last week that our values may be challenged this past weekend. Did you stick to what was conditioned and maybe programmed into you? Or did you act authentically this weekend? And just to review, the cards we pulled on Friday asked us to evaluate how much we value endings, how much we value our authentic personality, and how much we value our warrior spirit. So I found myself on Sunday in a family situation where I normally would have held my tongue as to not offend, which is really funny because that's the example I gave on Friday about where I was raised, how I was raised to sweep issues under the rug and not to rock the boat by speaking up. But on Sunday, I was brimming with anger. Here comes that warrior spirit. And I chose to speak authentically, and no one was offended because it wasn't coming from hate. It was coming from objectivity, where I was seeing something that others weren't seeing. So I love, as often as I can, give you guys like a recap of what we just talked about, how it appeared in my life, and I love to hear how it may have come about in your life as well. So this weekend, did you confront your values in any way? Were you asked to act more authentically and less how you had been told to act through your upbringing? Sweat, you cheated a bit on a game you played this morning. Truly was challenged to be my authentic self. That's really funny. That's really funny. So that was the energy of this weekend, was Venus square Uranus. And I'll give you a quick preface to today. As I was making my notes, I felt like I had to rush my explanations, to cram a lot of information in, because this weekend feels like the beginning of a cycle. So, if I talk too fast or if you miss something, just know that this session is being recorded. It will be posted on my YouTube channel later today. Just search my name on YouTube, you can find me. And additionally, if for upcoming astrology talks, if you haven't yet taken my Astrology 101 course here on Insight Timer, that's a wonderful place to receive a base level understanding so that when I might have to skip over explaining what each planet or what sign represents, you can have that info in your back pocket. So Astrology 101 here on Insight Timer. Additionally, this year I will be releasing one course per zodiac season. So the Aries course will be available here on Insight Timer as an audio course within the next few weeks, and I'll have the video version for sale on my Patreon page within the next few weeks. And then I'll release in-depth courses for each zodiac sign during its season this year. So just know that that's coming, one course per month-ish. Caroline says this past weekend was a lot with the upside down smiley face. I love that emoji. Mary Alice agrees. Lori Gurr stayed put in the old this weekend. And that's okay. We're human, right? Take the moment to reflect. Why did I stay in the old? What was I trying to accomplish? What did I accomplish? Nina says, authentically meditated making food. Sat in the sun with baby resting on my chest. Husband and two boys took a canoe out on our lake, wind chimes blaring and admiring all the wildlife. That sounds amazing. That sounds like a wonderful time. Janelle's an Aries. Love it. Happy early birthday. So today, we're here to talk about what is happening in the sky this weekend and how it is going to play out for us. Sweat, on uploading of the zodiac, what does that month start with the zodiac month or calendar month? I'm going to release them when the zodiac season starts. Crossing my fingers. I'm going to do my best to release the Aries course when Aries season starts, which is March 19th. Okay, so this weekend, on Friday, March 8th, Mercury and Neptune come together. The next day, Sunday the 9th, Saturday the 9th, Mercury enters Aries and Mars squares Uranus. So I'll break that all down. On Friday, Mercury will be conjunct Neptune at 27 degrees of Pisces. Mercury is the planet that represents air, so it's all about the mind, thoughts, communication. Neptune is the god of the sea. He's the planet that represents illusion and delusion, represents dreams, what is being dissolved. This conjunction is happening in the third decan of Pisces. I got on this hot topic of decans last week and we're going to run with it. So this is the final 10 degrees of Pisces, the last third of Pisces. So these last 10 degrees of Pisces feel a touch of Aries energy. That's the sign to come. So Aries energy is initiatory. It represents beginnings, newness, childlike excitement. So Mercury and Neptune will meet up one more time next year in Pisces before Neptune advances into Aries. So this meeting this weekend feels like a send-off. It feels like Mercury, our mind, is gathering instructions from Neptune, the planet of dissolving, in regards to what Mercury is to let go of over the next year, what Mercury's mission is for the next year, so that the next time they meet up, which will be on March 2nd, 2025, when they meet up again next March, I feel like Mercury will be able to report back to Neptune everything that he has dissolved throughout 2024 and the first 2 months of 2025. So Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. He's been here since 2012. And Neptune has been helping us truly dissolve what is ready to be gone. Neptune in Pisces since 2012 has been helping us let go of attachments to the old world. And this is just so interesting to me how Neptune entering Pisces, he entered in 2011, he had a retrograde, he fully entered in 2012, but how this coincides with the Mayan calendar, end of the world. And here's Neptune entering his own sign of endings as the Mayans say that the world's going to end. And just for context, before 2012, Neptune hadn't been in Pisces since 1861. Neptune was last in Pisces from 1848 to 1861. And I am in no way a history buff, but I'm just providing the dates so that you can see how rare this occurrence is, that Neptune is in his own sign of endings. And we're almost done with this transit. Neptune is going to move on to Aries the end of March 2025, March 31st, 2025. So this Neptune-Mercury conjunction really feels like Neptune is sending Mercury on one last trip around the sky with a mission to let go of certain beliefs, let go of certain mindsets. And we'll pull some cards to figure out what Neptune has to say. So after Neptune and Mercury meet up, Mercury will then enter Aries on March 9th. Mercury will then have a retrograde in Aries from April 1st to the 25th, and then Mercury won't move on until May 15th when he leaves Aries into Taurus. So Mercury will be in Aries from March 9th until May 15th. And what I found interesting about Mercury's retrograde is that it begins at 27 degrees of Aries, which is the same degree point where Mercury is meeting with Neptune in Pisces, 27 degrees. And this feels so very Mercury in Aries, where he receives his message from Neptune. Okay, great. Yes, time to let go and be done. Got it. But then as soon as he dips his toe into this Aries energy of newness and beginnings and cardinal fire energy, Mercury gets caught up in the moment and he blasts through Aries until he gets to 27 degrees and he remembers, like, oh, there's something about this number. There's something about 27. Oh, that's right. I met with Neptune at 27. And he says, wait a minute. And he has to start retracing his step. That's where Mercury starts his retrograde. Retracing his step to see what he might have forgotten that Neptune suggested he let go of. So we'll dive into Mercury retrograde in April, on April 1st. But what you can expect from Mercury in Aries, March 8th through May 15th, is that your mind may be more open to newness, freshness, jumping in with both feet. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. When the planet of the mind is here, there's never a lack of new ideas, things to start, seeds to plant. So I invite you to allow yourself to consider new potentials, to mentally explore new beginnings. And we have 2 full months of this. This feels really nice. This Pisces season has been very heavy for me and the people around me too. I can see that it's a lot for everybody. So I'm grateful that Mercury will be in Aries for so long, giving us this like childlike wonder and okay, it's time. We got to start fresh, start new. We dropped a bunch of stuff. Time to go. And this energy, look how excited Darla is about this. This energy will amplify Mercury in Aries, this mental new beginnings. This energy will amplify when the sun enters Aries on March 19th. So just to let you know. I saw Mary Alice put a little message of fear in the chat. She says, just a little frightening pre-Civil War dates. And she's referring to the last time that Neptune was in Pisces. And how I'm going to respond to that, Mary Alice, I hear you that, yes, when you hear these dates, it reminds you of a time that was before the Civil War. But at that time, all the planets were in different signs as well. Pluto was not in Aquarius. I don't know if Saturn was in Pisces back then. The whole sky shifts. It's like a giant moving puzzle. 24/7. It's always shifting, and it's very, very rare to have all of the planets line up in the exact same spot as when XYZ was happening. So when we use astrology to predict, when we go backwards in time to see what was happening when this planet was in this sign, you have to take into account what the other planets were doing as well. So, if you ever come across that in astrology, I'm not the history type of astrologer, so you won't get that from me. But if you listen to other astrologers, they love saying, and it makes sense, when this planet was here, this is what was happening. So we might be able to anticipate something like this. And I advise you to not let yourself get thrown into that, like, oh shit. That's when the world blew up. That's when Rome fell. That's when this happened. And oh my gosh, it's going to be the same thing because that's just one piece of the puzzle. So take into account everything that's going on. Maybe that's why I love so much just doing this daily astrology. I find it really difficult to see the big picture. I really like to focus on this is what's happening this weekend, guys. Just take it one day at a time. Sophia loves all this Mercury and Aries energy, exactly the energy I need to harness. Yeah. Jackie, I've got my new beginnings with the making of a book. I love it. Yeah, Darla's smiling. She's so excited. You want Mercury and Aries? I don't know. All right. So this weekend as well, and I'll make all of this make sense at the end, I promise. This weekend as well, Mars and Uranus will make a square. Mars at 19 of Aquarius, Uranus at 19 of Taurus. This is the same degree where Venus squared Uranus last weekend. And this is Piston, guys. So Mars square Uranus is an energy of feeling the pressure to take unique, practical action. In this square, squares represent tension, pressure. In this square, Uranus has the larger orbit. So I see this as Uranus imposing his will onto Mars. Uranus being the big brother saying, you got to do this, Mars. So Uranus is Uranus is the planet of rebellion, innovation, uniqueness. In the sign of Taurus, which is our practical reality, our tangible reality, things you can touch. So Uranus, in general, right now is saying, use your tools in a new way. He's putting pressure on Mars in Aquarius. Mars in Aquarius gives us the energy of Mars, action, ambition, motivation, drive, through the lens of unique authenticity, Aquarius. So with Mars in Aquarius, we're already acting in a unique, authentic way. But this pressure from Uranus brings in the Taurus energy of practicality. So tying all of this together, guys, this weekend might look like, and I'm going to give you a day by day, but this might happen all at once. This might happen throughout the whole week, but this is just what I'm feeling with the transits this weekend. Friday might look like receiving a download on what needs to go. Saturday, you might be able to visualize your new reality, and then you might begin to feel the pressure to make a practical change. Then on Sunday, when we have our new moon in Pisces, this will be the time when we intend to surrender what needs to go so that you can call in this new vision. and we will talk about the new moon on Friday when I come back here on Insight Timer. That's all the astrology that I'm going to overwhelm you with today, and we're going to switch over to the cards. So this weekend feels like a shifting point of big endings, right? Endings of since 1861. That's when Neptune entered Aries, was 1861, starting his zodiac journey. And he's gone all the way around, and he has one more year to finish up this entire zodiac journey. Like, Neptune's been around the block. He started something in 1861, and now we're wrapping it up. Now we're ending it. I'll say it one more time, Diane. And again, this might not be day by day. This is just how it feels with the astrology transits. Friday, receiving a download of what needs to go. You just know this is done. Saturday might help you be able to visualize your new reality, to see it clearly, and then you might feel the pressure to make a practical change. Then you can utilize the new moon on Sunday, the new moon in Pisces, where you can intend to surrender what really needs to go so that you can call in this new vision. So this is pretty significant that both Mercury and Neptune are in my sun sign of Scorpio? Or not really? Are you saying when you were born, Jane? Do you have a stellium with Mercury, Neptune, and the sun in Scorpio? The word significant is what I'm hung up on. I guess significant, depending on what degree everything is at, all the action this weekend happens at 27 of Pisces. So if you have stuff at 27 of Scorpio, that would be trining. So the stuff in the sky this weekend would be positively, harmoniously impacting your Scorpio placements. The fact that Mercury, Neptune, and the sun. Okay, cool. That makes sense. You're welcome, Jane. Thanks for asking. I love those kind of questions. I'm at a point in my business journey right now where I'm stepping away from doing full astrology readings. I actually just have a few clients this week and next week, and then I'm on to only coaching, and I'm like super excited to get to dive in deep with people. But if you want eyes on your chart, I'm still offering like readings light. So I'm starting this group. It's going to be on Patreon. It's called Embody Astrology Lunar Events. We are getting started on the 21st of March. And what it's going to be is a bi-monthly meeting where we meet a few days before each lunar event. We'll meet a few days before the full moon, a few days before the new moon. And then I will be able to share my screen when I host these meetings on Zoom, so I can show you the chart of the moon, and I'll show it to you, and I'll go deeper into this is what this full moon is representing, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm going to pull up one or two members' charts and use them as case studies to say, this is how this lunar event is impacting this person. And we'll dive deep into how a lunar event is impacting a person. There's a chance that you'll be selected as a case study if your chart really applies to that lunar event. But if not, you'll still be there to watch how an astrologer applies a chart to a natal chart. So you'll be able to pick up and see, right? I'm going to be naming all these degrees and showing it on the chart. So you'll be able to look at your own chart and see how it correlates. So if you want more information, I haven't yet packaged this all together and sent it out, but I'm going to very soon. You can join my email list through my Insight Timer bio. You can get to my link tree and my email, sign up for email list is right there. And there's also a button you could just click right on Patreon and sign up now if you want to be included. So I will get that email out this week or next week. I've been focusing on structuring my coaching clients, which I'm wrapping up right now. So the next step is starting to tell you more about Embody Astrology lunar events. So that's going to be starting in 2.5 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks and a day. Is it? Wow. Yeah, I got to get going on that. When is a good time to reach out to people and ask them for job offers? That is not really a question I can answer today because that's like a very intricate. When Jupiter is transiting your 10th house, that's a really good time, but that only happens once every 12 years. Yeah, I'm sorry. See, I'm not able to dive into that question. I got to keep my mind on what we're talking about today. So we talked about Neptune and Mercury meeting up in the sky on Friday. And Neptune is passing off this big message to Mercury about this is what you need to let go of for the next year mentally. Mercury represents our thoughts, our belief systems, our speech patterns. What are you talking about? What are you sharing with your voice? So we're going to use Ask Your Guides. This is my OG deck. I think this is my first ever Oracle deck. I have to be honest, this might be my first. We're asking, what does Neptune need Mercury to let go of over the next year? So feel free to send your energy into this deck. We do group readings here. What does Neptune need Mercury to let go of over the next year? And knowing that this is a group reading, when I shuffle, I wait for 3 cards to fall out for us. And then once they all fall out, I will show you the backs of the cards so that you can lean into your own intuition to see if any of the cards just speak more loudly to you. So when it comes to using your intuition for oracle cards, there isn't like one magical thing that has to happen to know that a card is for you. It can look different every time you show up. So if anything in your physical body changes, if anything in your awareness, your environment changes, just know that that can be the universe sending you a message to pay extra attention to that card. If you feel nothing, your intuition is not broken. The whole reading just holds an equal importance to you. And if you're like Jacqui and Sweat right now and there is a number between 1 and 3 in your head, that's tapping into your clairconsciousness, and you just know that that number is for me. So I'll show you the backs of the 3 cards. They're going to look the exact same. And then let us know in the chat which cards are resonating with you. So we're asking, what does Neptune need Mercury to let go of over the next year? Here's the back of card number 1. The back of card number 2. And the back of card number 3. Let us know in the chat which cards are resonating with you. And I'll show them one more time. The back again of card number 1. The back of card number 2. And the back of card number 3. What does Neptune need Mercury to let go of over the next year? Jacqui and Sweat are both working with 2, Anne 1 and 3, Caroline 3, Neptune Sun 2. Sophia got chills on 1. Based on the last time we talked, Sophia, this is going to be good for you, just saying. Nicole 3, Nancy 3, Lori 1, Adriana 2 and 3, Anique 1 and 2, Tracy 2, Lisa all mainly 1, Greg 2 and 3, Tatiana 3, Lori ginormous yawn with card number 2. That's a surrender, in my opinion, letting go. Win 1, Michelle 3, Janelle 2 and 3, Lucy 1 and 3, Christine 2 and 3, Mary Alice 1 and 2, Suzanne all but 3. Oh, is that like all but 3 or all but 3? Like 3's big. Sammy 3, Alexis 2, 3, I don't know. Bonnie all 3 with 2 as a focus. Cool. Sherry 1 and 3. Chantel 1 ears, 2 heart, 3 sigh. Love it. Hannah 1. Alexis just joined. Awesome. Awesome. Of course, Sophia. Dara 2 and maybe 3. Carrie, never late. Oh, look at Sophia's already answering that. Suzanne 3 the most. You never are late to my sessions. If you guys show up when I've already been talking, that just means that you showed up at the perfect time when you needed to be here. Heather's working with 2. Melinda felt all 3. Yes, Sherry, always right on time. First time waking up between 10:15 since surgery. You might be feeling that upcoming Aries energy. It's time to go. Let's just get up. All right. What does Neptune need Mercury to let go of over the next year? This is a 12-month project, guys. Hi, Mimi. All right. Card number 1 is card number 25. The message is shadow, and this comes from our divine healers. The keywords for this card are anger, vengeance, violation, spite. Although no one likes to admit it, we all have our dark sides and shadows. Those less than flattering facets of our personality that take delight in abusing and shaming others and wielding power in the most unfair ways. Whether it's the condescending remark to the slow-moving grocery bagger at the supermarket, the aggressive hand gesture directed toward the meandering driver on the road, or the belittling comment made to your uncooperative child, many of us are guilty of hurting or deriding others at times. Your divine healers are present now to help you witness your shadow, lovingly make you aware that it's actually contempt for yourself and your vulnerability that fuels such hostility towards others. These gentle but powerful higher forces surround you in love and urge you to accept and embrace your weaker aspects, rather than harshly rejecting yourself by attacking those aspects in others. Ease up and be more tolerant of yourself. If you do so, these shadows will give way to light and healing. Your divine healer's message: ask for help and accept our light. So what does Neptune need Mercury to let go of over the next year? Is hating your shadow. Hating it so much that you don't want to look at it. Spiritual bypassing, pretending that you've never had any trauma in your life, pretending that nothing has ever messed you up, pretending that there's no part of yourself that acts rudely, even unintentionally. Neptune needs Mercury this year to look at the shadow and just accept it and say, I'm not a perfect person, and that's fine. Because by accepting that I'm not perfect, of course no one in the world is going to be perfect. This is the time I have to do this tangent right now, because this came up and I was going to make a video about it, but it didn't seem right, but it seems right now. When it comes to... I made a video last year about the word narcissist, and I have similar feelings about the word gaslighting. All these buzzwords that we use in the spiritual community, my heart is pumping. Here's authentic Jackie, guys. I hate those words. I hate them because I feel like they breed victim mentality. And I understand that there's a time and place when you need to accept that you're being mistreated so that you can do something about it. And that's fine. Use them in that way. But to hang on to those words, to project that they're the narcissist, they're gaslighting me. I saw a post on Facebook the other day on this, and it said that gaslighting is a term used for people who manipulate others by what was it? By attacking their mental health and like continuing to do so and all this stuff. And I forgot the message of the post, but it seemed very like victim-y. And so my first thought was like, aren't we supposed to be healing our mental health instead of saying you're affecting my mental health? Aren't we supposed to be the ones that take ownership of ourselves? So when it comes to this big circle of trauma that we've all been involved in, right? It really bothers me when people just deflect and say they're the bad person, they're the narcissist, they're gaslighting me, because no one's perfect. No one's perfect. We've all made mistakes. We've all acted in ways that we thought were best in that moment, even though they probably weren't, because we were working with the tools that we had at the time. So how does that not allow you to give grace to others who may be acting with the tools that they have at this time? So that's where my anger comes with all of these buzzwords, because I feel like people use them to make themselves free and clear of any trauma, because they're perfect and everyone else is the problem. And that is really what's wrong with our society these days. Everyone's perfect, everyone puts the perfect pictures on social media, everyone tells their perfect stories, but they don't want to say like, yeah, I used to use alcohol to get angry at my husband because I couldn't let it out when I was sober. It happens. People mess up. So by accepting when you've messed up and owning and loving yourself through it, right? Like, man, I made a really big mistake. I can see why I did that because I didn't know then what I know now. Okay, past Jacqui, I forgive you. And then when other people do it, you're like, oh, I see the little child in you who's crying for attention. You're not trying to hurt me. You're just trying to figure out this life. You're just trying to figure out what to do with your ego. Wow. Yeah, that needed to come out. That felt great. Charlotte agrees. Caroline, to overuse those words all the time. They're not used loosely anymore. Cool. This is the kind of stuff that I'm like nervous to open up about because of how mainstream all these ideas have become. But I'm done. If I have something to say, I'm gonna say it. Alexis, I gave up hating 2 years ago. So glad I said 2 and 3. Love it, love it. Caroline, accept your own part in dark times. Yes, and not in a way of like, man, because you can go to the other extreme, right? You can go from I'm perfect and everyone else is the problem to the other extreme of, well, I must be completely messed up and I'm the worst person who's ever existed. The beauty is in the middle. The balance is in the middle. Sometimes I act in a way that serves everybody because I'm ready to do it. Sometimes I act in a way that may not have been the best choice because at that time I didn't know the best choice. So coming to the middle and saying sometimes I'm here, and just accepting that with everybody in the world. Sometimes they're here, sometimes they're here. Agreed. Lori, thank you for verbalizing this. Self-accountabilities, so important. Yes, not a one of us is perfect. I love that. Violet, my sister constantly refers to our mom as a narcissist, and I'm so tired of hearing that. That word for me takes me to a different place when it's overused. And I don't want to like take away, because sure, those things are real, right? But like, how often do you really think a gaslighter is like, oh, I'm gonna gaslight the shit out of this person right now? Like, they're probably just scared little infants inside, not knowing how to keep control and keep the power because they've been traumatized when they were a kid, and everyone's just walking around with a bunch of trauma. And that's why we're so mean to each other. So heal your own trauma, and then you won't be affected when other people are acting through their trauma, and then you can help them heal their trauma. Dara, I didn't pick card 1, but my theme this year is radical acceptance. Accepting of my whole self and everyone else's whole selves. Accept the light and shadow so that I have compassion and understanding with myself and others, and through that acceptance work on change if needed. So wow, super exciting to hear you say that too. Love it. I don't like that it labels a person. People can grow out of those behaviors. I like the way you said that, Bonnie. Yeah, the label doesn't have to label a person. It can label their behavior for a period of time. The behavior is narcissistic. I like that, Bonnie. And that goes back to, oh my gosh, not even going to go there. Card number 2. So we asked, what does Neptune need Mercury to let go of over the upcoming year? The hatred of your shadow. And by hatred, I mean the fear of looking at it. It's okay to admit when you've made mistakes. Card number 2, what else does Neptune need Mercury to let go of over the next year? This is card number 47, Psychic Awareness, and this comes from our divine soul. Interesting. So the keywords for this card are clairsentience, clairvoyance, reception, and telepathy. Your divine soul is awakening, and with it, your psychic abilities are coming alive. More evolved and specific than basic intuition, your psychic faculties are giving you access to the 4th dimension and are coming into contact with discarnate, enlightened helpers who can assist and guide you in beautiful ways. You may start accessing divine music or tap into new healing energies. You may also receive telepathic messages and have clairvoyant visions. Heed your newly aroused psychic faculties and don't doubt the specific and profound transmissions flowing to you. Record your dreams, believe in your hunches, and accept the symbols and signals being relayed to you from the psychic realm. Trust your vibes and embrace your psychic channels fully. What they're communicating is essential to fulfilling your purpose. Ask your divine soul to lead you. Its message: embrace and trust what you receive. So Neptune is not asking Mercury to let go of its psychic awareness. Neptune is asking Mercury to drop the mental ego that can't be, I have to overthink that part of when you receive your psychic downloads. So Neptune is very much linked to psychic awareness. He's dreams, he's illusions. He's going to drop in those mystical things of life that the mind can't process. So over this upcoming year, I really feel like Neptune is saying, let the mind take a back seat and just flow. Accept what comes through. Don't question it. Don't be afraid of it. Don't overthink it. When you ask for a message and an answer comes through and it might be too good to be true, or it might have come too fast, it doesn't make sense, just let it sit in your soul and process it, and maybe stop letting the mind get in the way of the magic of life. Neptune is conjunct your natal Chiron now. What to expect with the addition of Mercury? Letting go of overthinking past hurt. I like that question. So Neptune conjunct your natal Chiron, it looks like dissolving a lot of pain, dissolving a lot of feeling of being defective. That's what I feel like. Chiron shows us where we feel like we're defective, even though we're not. But Chiron helps us move through life so that we can gain things that we wouldn't have gained if we didn't have that wound, right? You have to have a wound in order to know the tools to fix the wound, to heal the wound. So now that Mercury is coming here, this feels like a mindset dissolving. Dissolving that, like, this part of me is bad, right? This shadow. This part of me, this Chiron part, maybe I shouldn't have been that way. That's bad. I feel like that Mercury coming here is going to dissolve the mindset, the belief that this is something negative. Greg, I relate with letting go of doubt and trusting the connection. It's going hand in hand so far. Like, when you accept your whole self and you're not spending your mental time on looking for how other people are bad, your mind will be a little bit more open to accept the psychic downloads that come through. Stop letting the mind get in the way of magic. Stop letting the mind get in the way of the magic of life. Mic drop. That could be a short right there. CG, yes, that card I think is for me. There's a major spiritual awakening I'm experiencing, and at first I was thinking I was making it up, but that card was talking to me. I love that. This is actually the first card that came out for me when I first got this deck, and I'm pretty sure this was my first Oracle deck. I love this card so much. So much. Greg, 2 is totally my card. I'm getting so many downloads, aha moments lately that I can't overthink them. I love that. Yeah, your dreams too. Neptune is linked to the dream world. So you can be getting a lot of messages through your dreams. I don't know. That can be heightened now until, through next week with Mercury hanging out by Neptune. Jackie, love how you interpreted that card. Thank you. And thank you, Lori, for your donation. Very much appreciated. Sweat, this card was quite apt for me. I've been having a lot of spiritual awakenings from my meditations. Love it. Yeah, just trust it. Just trust it. Our mind is here to categorize and process information. Our mind is not here to guide us. Our intuition is here to guide us. Our mind is here to what is that? Left brain. Mind is for left brain. Putting things in categories. Timing things. Lucy, I've definitely been getting messages through my dreams lately. Yes, me too. Did you know you can go into your dream with a question? You can ask your dreams questions. And then sometimes you get answers. Bonnie's also been having great dreams lately. Sophia, I feel some things are not for the mind to understand, but to accept. I like that. All right, what else does Neptune need Mercury to let go of over the next year? Card number 3 is card number 19. The message is survival from the healer guides. The keywords are suspicion, endurance, vigilance, perseverance. Your healer guides surround you and lovingly embrace your momentarily injured spirit. They want you to recognize that all attacks, betrayals, or injuries you've suffered, whether they were through the unconscious behavior of others or through your own misunderstanding or poor choices, have left you physically wounded and fragile. It's no wonder your guard is up. It's difficult to trust even yourself at this time, but you must. And the only way to do so is to stop blaming yourself or others for what has occurred and forgive all the way around. Learn from your experiences and strengthen your boundaries and judgment. All human beings make grave and even sometimes terrible mistakes. It's not your fault that you feel violated. It's a lesson to learn from. Nor is it weak to acknowledge that you've been hurt. Denial may serve you in the midst of crisis, but it only handicaps you if you stay mired in it. Admit to your injuries and disappointments, and allow the nurturing forces of your healer guides to step in now. They're able to soothe your soul and reweave your aura with their loving light and nurturing forces. Trust their influence by dropping your defenses and acknowledging your wounds. They urge you to seek support from capable, caring professionals who can help you learn from these disturbing experiences and show you how to prevent them from occurring again. Their message: the danger has passed. You are safe. It is time now to heal and learn from your experience. What does Neptune need Mercury to let go of over the next year? The thought that you have to survive the same type of trauma that you've survived in the past. The thought that the same kind of attack is on the way. what I got from this card so strongly is normalizing your trauma, because it's easier to say, that's fine. It didn't really affect me. I got over it. It's so easy to say that because you are protecting yourself from feeling the emotions that you may not have been able to fully process when you were in that survival mode situation. So I'm trying to think of something very, not too, triggering. So something as simple as, I'm going to use my husband as an example because this is the thing that I'm like, you have to start looking at this. He's a Sagittarius, right? So he loves his freedom. And when he was 14, his dad said, you want to buy things? It's time for you to get a job. And he just kind of swallowed that and said, you know what? Okay, I'm 14. I have to get a job now if I want to buy things. This is just how it is. But to a freedom-loving, exploring Sagittarius, having to clock into a job and be at a place and work for someone else, that can be very constricting and belittling, if you want to exaggerate the feelings, that's what it can feel like. But for all these years, it's just been kind of it's fine. I had to do it. I had no other choice. My dad didn't want to buy me rollerblades, so I had to just do it, and it's fine. And it didn't really affect me that much until 20 years later, you're bitching every morning that you have to wake up to go to work and get there at 6:30, and you have to stay till this time, and when they call you in, you have to go in. Where am I going with this? When you belittle the things that caused you strife and you normalize them, they continue to string throughout your life. But when you're able to look at those seemingly, it didn't even matter, I got over it, it wasn't that bad. When you look at that with your evolved emotions, now that you are mature, now that you've been through some situations, you've earned some emotional wisdom, you can revisit those times in your life and say, wow, your innocence was kind of stolen right there. That must have been difficult. That must have felt like you couldn't be a child anymore. That must have caused you to feel XYZ. And you heal that and you own it and you recognize it. Here you go, owning part of your shadow again. I didn't want to feel these feelings, but I'm feeling them. Then you don't feel like it's a survival tactic anymore. You don't feel like you're tied to this, well, authority says I have to work, so that must mean I have to go to work from Monday through Friday, 6:30 to 3. Do you get what I'm saying? So what Neptune wants Mercury to let go of is the belief that you're a survivor. We're here on this earth to thrive, by the way. Last year I found a quote. It was 1 year and 2 days ago, and I look at it every so often, but I just noticed wow, that was a year ago. Enjoy your time on this earth like the glorious vacation that it is. Neptune doesn't want us to be here to survive. Neptune wants us to thrive with our humanness and our magic, utilizing our psychic awareness, detaching from the parts of our shadow that make us feel like we have to do life XYZ in this order. We have so much freedom in this existence. But it's the mind that's here to structure. It's the mind that's here to keep us categorized. I am husband, so I must XYZ. I am mother, so I must XYZ. Who said that? Who said that? Thank you, Bonnie. It's not mirrored, it's mired. Nancy, yep, that number 3 resonates for me in card number 19. Your birthday is 4/19. CG, I have several candles, and yesterday I was guided to light the healing candle, and today you're reading this card. I love it. This is a really deep reading. I like that part about waiting for the next trauma. It steals our joy. Yes. Because there's still that scared little version inside of you, and I'm using scared as just like a blanket term. There's that hurt little version inside of you who's like, oh, but that person might steal my freedom. Ooh, this person's definitely trying to steal my freedom. Oh, watch out, they're gonna try to take it. No, that keeps you in survival mode. You're not a survivor. You're here to thrive. So heal accept the part, oh my gosh. So that's where that inner child work and the shadow work goes hand in hand. It's your hurt inner child that causes you to act inappropriately, and those inappropriate actions represent your shadow that you usually don't want to look at. So by healing the core, by going back to when you were younger and things were taken from you, because it doesn't have to be this way. You get to change your stars. You actually get to change your reality. Lisa, I like that cards 1 and 3 are similar themes, and bookending card 2, trusting and going with the flow. 100%. Yes, yes, yes. I came across the term a while ago of disenfranchised grief. Not being allowed to grieve certain events, to normalize, to say it's fine. Can you explain more about that? I'm trying to wrap my head around disenfranchised. Disenfranchised grief is not being allowed to grieve certain events, to normalize, and to say it's fine. I'm just trying to think, like, what's a franchise? A franchise is when, like, multiple owners take over one company and they spread. So disenfranchised would be coming back to the core. Kind of like gaslighting yourself. Yep. No one ever thinks it's the patterns we were shown by our parents, especially our mom. Yeah. No ill intent, right? Not saying that, like, your mom was personally trying to mess you up. I talk about it with Bonnie all the time, because Bonnie's a mom. She's one of my good friends. I'm trying to be a mom. And we just have these discussions how, like, our parents messed us up. We're here to mess up our kids. Like, it's you can't avoid it. You have to have a Chiron, right? You have to have a wound to heal. Thank you, Bonnie. Ranch. I love her number 3. It's wonderful. Not being. Amanda, I love that. Takes you from victim and fear to empowered, loved, and safe. This reading speaks to me since this stuff has come up more than ever, causing me to have to work on them. Everything is a lesson. We get so serious about everything. Today's affirmation: I am safe and free, ready to thrive. I love that, Amanda. Greg, disenfranchised can be depriving someone of a right or privilege. Oh. Okay, so depriving yourself of the privilege to grieve. Because if you don't take the process to grieve, then you're going to hang on to it, and it's going to get triggered by people. And then if you don't look at this thing that you haven't healed yet, you're going to start projecting. Oh, they're the problem. They're the gaslighter. They're the narcissist. But really, it's this that needs to be taken care of. This hurt that you haven't looked at yet, that you haven't tended to yet. And that's where the recording ended for today for some reason. Not too sure why, but I'm going to read the last card for you guys so that you can have it here on recording. So my final question was, what new vision is awaiting us? And I'm going to use the Golden Future Oracle to pull for that. What new vision is awaiting us? The message that we got was card number 15, travel. Find ecological ways to explore the world. Soon after 2032, and if you want to know why they used 2032, here is the, there's a timeline in the beginning of this deck. So if you want to take a screenshot of this, and Bonnie is also putting this in our spiritual community, this timeline for the golden age. So if you want, you could take a screenshot of that. And then this card says, soon after 2032, clean, environmentally friendly sources of power will create a resurgence of travel and exploration. Vehicles will be ecologically powered and made of biodegradable plant material. Hoverplates and silent mini helicopters will be popular for local trips. Many individuals will reactivate their levitation powers and be able to take short journeys that way. For longer distances, transports will move along in designated layers, like roadways in the sky. Most of these will be operated remotely, but some will be guided by volunteers. By 2050, Eco-powered rockets will transport travelers worldwide at speeds that are currently beyond our comprehension. People will be able to move freely everywhere without passports. There will be no borders, and everyone will be welcomed everywhere with an open heart. In fifth dimensional consciousness, people know that their needs will always be met, so a transport will always be there at the perfect time. If you receive this card, Archangel Raphael, who looks after travel of all kinds and protects travelers, is touching you with his emerald light. He is in charge of the third eye. Just going to bring up that psychic awareness card again. He is in charge of the third eye and is opening you to a new way of looking at life, expeditions, and exploration. We live on a vast, varied, and magnificent planet where there is much to see and experience. Your guidance is to follow your promptings to roam, but look for ways that are ecological. Walking, cycling, or traveling by boat or train may take longer, but may be more rewarding. Explore different places, cultures, and societies with interest, admiration, and respect. Enjoy, too, the wonders of your own country. Travel in order to experience and wonder at the diversity of our glorious world. So what new vision awaits us is a new way to travel. And what you can take this as is a way to travel your physical reality, or in terms of this Neptune-Mercury conjunction, I see this more as an internal travel. Traveling through your shadow, traveling through your consciousness to weed out the survival tactics that you've been hanging on to, and to travel through your psychic abilities, to travel through your psychic awareness. I hope that video was just as insightful for you as it was for all of us. Darla and I really appreciate you being here with me. Thank you for liking this video, sharing it with a friend who you think would benefit, and subscribing to my YouTube channel. Also, drop a comment and let us know what you got from this video. What was your biggest insight or takeaway? If you want to see what else I'm working on, click on my link tree. It's right underneath this YouTube video. We'll see you next time. Take care.